MTN Health once again offering asymptomatic COVID-19 testing in Great Falls. We'll tell you where you can get tested. Plus, MTN has you covered all election season, and tomorrow we'll kick off a series of debates. We've got a preview of that coming up. And later, high school football is back, baby, and it's about time. Our Isaiah Dunk gives us what we've all been waiting for, some highlights from around the state.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Thanks so much for spending your Saturday with us. I'm Matt Holzaffel. Cascade County Sheriff Jesse Slaughter said in a release this morning that 10 more inmates and 1 additional employee have tested positive for COVID-19 at the Cascade County Detention Center. The additional cases bring the current total number of positive cases at the facility to 66. Slaughter first said in a release on Monday that 53 inmates and 2 staff members had tested positive for coronavirus. Before that, only 1 positive case had been confirmed on August 20th. Slaughter said he anticipates the number of cases will continue to rise at the jail and that it will fluctuate as people enter and leave the facility. Now, across the state, we now have almost 1,900 active cases of COVID-19 and just under 7,300 total cases. Thanks to that outbreak at the jail, Cascade County is now reporting 114 active cases at this time and 280 total cases. The only counties with more active cases are Flathead, Rosebud, Bighorn, and Yellowstone counties. Lewis and Clark County comes in at 40 active cases and 196 total confirmed cases. Now, according to the CDC, Montana has passed New Hampshire in total cases. That puts us at 45th most in the country. MTN Health in Great Falls announced this morning that they are once again offering free COVID-19 testing to all individuals, including those who are asymptomatic. MTN was previously only testing people who were symptomatic or had been in contact with an infected person. This is a reminder that their testing site is at the Livestock Pavilion at the Montana Expo Park on 3rd Street Northwest. Testing is available Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 and weekends from 10 to 3. No appointment or pre-screening is necessary. Well, it's been a warm and breezy day here in the Treasure State. Let's send it over to our meteorologist Grant Garland in the Weather Center to find out more. Grant?
Yeah, Matt, that's right. We have been looking at a warm day today, especially compared to yesterday. Temperatures outside across Montana, and also getting a view, we're seeing 90 degrees in Fort Benton, 89 in Helena, 86 in Lewistown. Hayes, you guys are lucky at 77 degrees. We are seeing 93 in Glasgow, 75 in Cutbank, 86 in Missoula, and 92 in Billings. And with that wind, I mean, we've been looking at 18-mile-per-hour winds here in Great Falls, with some winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour. 17 in Havre, 13 in Lewistown, 15 in Jordan, and we're looking at 17 in the capital. Over the last 3 hours, we have been looking at clouds starting to make their way into the viewing area, and that's going to be the continuing trend as we head throughout the night. We are expecting increasing clouds and only a slight chance for showers. Temperatures falling down to the mid-40s for many folks. 43 in Hayes, 46 in Havre, 45 in Great Falls, 46 in Helena, and 41 in Cutbank. Now, a big cool down is headed our way tomorrow, and we're going to talk about that and what to expect with our temperatures and also rain chances in a few minutes. But for now, back to you.
All right, thank you, Grant. Helena College announced a new free course exploring anti-Black racism and allyship. According to the course's professor, the course will examine things from the history of anti-Black racism in the United States to understanding the current racial justice movements taking place across the country. The course plans to define and examine certain terms such as white privilege, defunding the police, and standing in solidarity. Professor Kimberly Figg has over 10 years of experience studying race, gender, sexuality, and class. She said she hopes to use this course to inform community members about how they can understand racism from different perspectives.
The course, while it doesn't speak specifically to Helena history, if you think more critically about the ways in which a community like this may be reproducing or is reproducing structural racism, it allows you to sort of like look at the ways in which you might be complicit in that.
And you do not have to be a student to participate in the course. The class begins September 8th and will be all online. 2020 is Montana's biggest election in 2 decades, with races for the U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and governor getting national level attention. But getting less attention are several other statewide contests that are no less competitive and are significant offices for Montana. MTN reporters will be covering these races, of course, but starting this weekend, MTN hosts a series of debates between the candidates for these offices. MTN Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison tells us more.
Starting this Sunday morning, the debates will be aired on MTN's weekly public affairs program, Face the State. Our first debate is between the two major party candidates for State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Republican incumbent Elsie Arnson and Democratic challenger Melissa Romano, a public school teacher from Helena. This year's contest is a rematch. Arnson beat Romano in a close race in 2016. The rest of the lineup includes debates between the candidates for State Auditor, Secretary of State, and Attorney General. All of these seats are open, meaning they have no incumbent, and most of the races are expected to be close. For State Auditor, it's Republican businessman Troy Downing versus Democratic State Representative and Missoula lawyer Shane Morzo. For Secretary of State, Democratic State Senator Bryce Bennett of Missoula is taking on Republican Christy Jacobson of Helena, the current Deputy Secretary of State. And for Attorney General, Republican former House Speaker Austin Knudsen of Culbertson competes against Democrat Rafe Graybill, who's currently Chief Counsel to Governor Steve Bullock. Myself and other MTN reporters will be moderating and asking questions, and the candidates themselves will get to question their opponent. In Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
And those debates start tomorrow morning during Face the State at 9:30, or watch now on our streaming app. Just search for KRTV or KXLH on your favorite streaming device. The Montana Governor's Office awarded over $500,000 to help Montanans secure health insurance this afternoon. Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney announced that grant funding at an event at the Riverstone Health in Billings, one of the 19 rural and safety net healthcare providers receiving the Safeguard Access to Care grant. Another recipient is Pureview Health Center in Helena. They were awarded $30,000 and say they plan to use the money to hire more staff.
I think for Pureview, we'll be using it to hire additional staff to help with outreach and enrollment in insurance policies. Especially when open enrollment is coming up, we want to make sure that anyone who does not have insurance is able to get on a plan.
Health insurance enrollment goes from November 1st to December 15th this year. Coming up, you may notice more police out on busy streets in Great Falls right now. We'll tell you why that's the case after the break.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. Well, you may have noticed more police out on one busy street in Great Falls recently. Great Falls police are conducting saturation patrols on 10th Avenue South. According to a post on the police department's Facebook page, a lot of crashes are occurring on that road. A spokesperson for the PD says the department is using what's called a heat map to target areas that have a high call volume.
It's the crash-causing incidents that we are focused on. There's other things that are going to come out of that as we're moving along, but we want to make sure we're working to reduce those crashes and educate the public.
The department also uses the heat map to help combat crime. During the pandemic, many Great Falls residents have relied on the city's 57 parks to stay active, but dry weather and understaffing have left the Great Falls Parks and Recreation Department fielding concerns about park maintenance. Great Falls Parks and Rec Director Steve Herrick says the department is receiving calls about dead grass in the parks. He says although those questions are typical around this time of year, staffing has been a challenge during the pandemic. The department normally relies on seasonal part-time staff to help water the parks over the summer, but because of the pandemic, part-time employees were hired later than usual this year. The unseasonably hot and dry weather means the department also has to water more often, which has been difficult with staffing challenges. Although it's been a rough summer for hiring, Herrick says the department is just getting back on its feet.
A lot of times we try to get some in end of March, April. We really didn't get anybody in until first part of June, actually, end of May, 1st of June. So we've been playing catch up pretty much all summer long and still playing catch up. And once we get some cooler weather and a little rain, we'll get back on top of it.
And Herrick says there's been more trash at Great Falls parks over the last several months as well, an indication that residents are going to parks more often during the pandemic. Well, many students in Great Falls went back to school this week, But with masks and social distancing in place, classrooms look a lot different, especially for students in music classes. This semester, GFPS is requiring all wind instruments to have cloth coverings. The district made the decision in the spring after a study showed that COVID-19 can spread through aerosol particles in instruments. The district needs enough coverings for every instrument in the district so that the music programs in Great Falls can continue playing. They're calling the effort, quote, Operation Bell Covers. The coverings can be made from cotton fabric or from old t-shirts. The district is still looking for volunteers who can sew. Great Falls High Band Director James Meepham says, despite the challenges of holding in-person classes this semester, he and his students will do whatever it takes to keep making music.
A lot of students I've had have told me essentially that they are happy to be back to seeing teachers one-on-one of it again, and I know all of my students are really excited to actually be making music again, because making music online is not anywhere near as fun as doing it in person, but we just have to make sure we're careful about staying safe.
The district needs spell covers for every student with a wind instrument by September 7th. To learn how you can donate or volunteer, visit us online.
Well, rain will be moving to the area throughout the night, but how much rain will fall? Stay tuned to your 7-day forecast coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have had a great Saturday so far. It was warmer, 90-degree temperatures in Great Falls, Helena, out towards, well, we're still waiting to get our official numbers for Glasgow and Jordan, but 84 in Cupbank, so not too bad for you guys. Havre takes the cake right now with 92-degree temperatures. Now, the average for this time of year is around 78 degrees for the Electric City, so yes, we were well above that, but at least it's not oppressive temperatures. The record was set back in 2005 when it was 97 degrees. That was also the year that Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins with Christian Bale came out, where we got to see him take on Scarecrow. 87 degrees right now in Lewistown, 86 in Great Falls, 75 up towards Cupbank, 94 in Jordan, and 93 in Glasgow. Down towards Butte, around 81 degrees. Now, our winds are still whipping, but our wind gusts, that's something to talk about. 35-mile-per-hour winds here in the Electric City. Head on up towards Havre, 49 miles an hour. Really whipping up there. 30 in Glasgow, 29 in Jordan. Out towards Cupbank, around 31. Over the last 3 hours, we have been looking at a few clouds that have been trying to make their way from the northwest towards us, and that's going to be the continuing trend as we head throughout the night with increasing clouds, and also looking at just a chance or two for a shower for the Electric City. Now, we are looking at also a red flag warning for those in Great Falls that will end tonight at midnight out towards those south of Lewistown, looking at that ending around 10 o'clock tonight. As far as we go tomorrow, we're going to be looking at a very breezy day. Going to move over here so that you can see 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts for several places, 30 to 40 miles an hour as well. We're going to be looking at not only a breezy day, but we're also going to increase the chance for our fire weather. Probably for at least Great Falls, the driest time will be right around 7 p.m. and that's when we're going to be looking at around 16% humidity. Out towards Helena, we're going to be looking at that right around the, I believe, let's see, around 4 o'clock mark, 4 to 5, 17% humidity. So just make sure you're doing your part in disposing of any cigarettes properly. Just don't throw them out and about. As we go throughout the night, clouds will increase into the area. We'll also start to see the chances for a few showers as we head into the 6:30 a.m. hour. So heads up, if you are going to be waking up going to church, especially around 9 a.m., well, that's when we could be dealing with a few light sprinkles. I don't think that we're going to really be able to see a washout by any chance. Our models are not picking up hardly any accounts for rain, not even a trace of rain, just because of how dry it's been. As we head throughout the day, Monday morning, clouds will also going to be increasing, mainly though towards the west. We will see a better chance for showers staying towards Helena and west, as well as a few snow showers that are going to be up towards the for those in higher elevations. We're not looking at that being our main concern. How much rain could be falling from now through around Monday at 5:30? I mean, here are the numbers. They're not impressive at all. 300 of an inch in Jordan, 500 of an inch in Havre, and it's just so dry that it's going to be hard to pick up any accountable rain. If you want to follow me on social media, you can. That's where you can stay weather aware, as well as downloading that free KRTV app. 47 degrees in Lewistown tonight, 45 in Great Falls, 46 in Havre, and 52 in Glasgow. Temperatures will be taking a dive tomorrow, 68 Sunday, 67 on Monday, and we're going to be looking at then chances for showers diminishing over Tuesday. For our friends in Helena, really the same situation. Better chance for rain on Monday, but I'm not telling you, Matt, I like these temperatures we're going to be dropping down to.
If you're planning on going to a park, one of Great Falls' most well-known attractions is Giant Springs State Park. Captivates tourists and residents alike with its wildlife, greenery, and of course, the Giant Springs. But in order to keep those springs looking their best, one organization takes part in a semi-annual cleanup. Earlier today, the Electric City Dive Club dove right into the springs, removing coins and weeds that accumulated over the past 6 months. While the cleanup might seem like a chore, passionate diver Tammy Lucas said swimming in the springs has been a lifelong dream.
The water's so clear and pretty, you're just like tempted to jump in. But you can't swim in here. So, you know, to get the opportunity to come in here and see what the water looks like under the surface is, wow, pretty exciting.
Lucas said anyone in the dive club can have the opportunity to clean the springs. If you'd like to do so, simply reach out to the club via their website or Facebook page. Now, high school football is back in Montana. You know that? Well, if you didn't and you weren't able to catch some of the action last night, we've got you covered. MTN's Isaiah Dunk has a full slate of highlights after the break.
From Montana's News Leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. Well, after a few schools kicked off the 2020 high school football season last night, there was plenty of action today as well. MTN's Isaiah Dunk is kind of back to anchoring sports. He takes us to Centerville.
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Centerville as the Miners get ready to kick off their 2020 season. But it's not just any old season opener, as the Miners are getting introduced to six-man football with a matchup against Geraldine Highwood. Let's dive into the action. We'll start in the first quarter of this one. After Centerville stalls on their first possession, here's Geraldine Highwood's Ian Moline going to work on the first play from scrimmage for the Rivals. Moline's going to take it all the way to the house. Geraldine Highwood is on the board. But he's not done. Still in the first here, Moline again. This time from about 8 yards out. Rivals go up 14-0 early. Second quarter now. How about another one? Moline cruises into the end zone again, and it's 21-0 Geraldine Highwood. Rivals were all over it early. Here's the sophomore, Bryson Bondmiller. Around the edge with the stiff arm, and he's going to find the end zone as well. Rivals took a 4-score lead, but Centerville would come to life. Still in the second quarter. They'll go to the air. That's Ethan Upchurch finding Cade Hutchins wide open, and the Miners are on the board. But on the very next Rival possession, Bondmiller, he's going to look to air it out as well. Over the middle, he's got his man. Ridger Bowman makes a guy miss, and it's a foot race. Bowman's in to score, and the Rivals will get those points right back. Centerville still battling, though. Upchurch scrambling. Makes a jump throw at the line of scrimmage, and he's got Chaz Dilly in the end zone. But Geraldine Highwood kept their foot on the gas. Rivals win 66-27.
All right, thanks, Isaiah. Good to have you back anchoring sports, from the field at least. Students travel to the University of Montana from across the country. Some travel extreme distances, making it difficult for their families to help them move in. MTN's Connor McCauley has more on how the group Ula Hui Milwala is helping some of their students move in.
Moving into the dorms your freshman year can be quite the intimidating task, especially when your family is thousands of miles away. Luckily for those students, the Adopt a Grizz program is here to help them get acclimated.
Huima Lama founded the Adopt a Grizz program to help students that are coming in to the University of Montana. A lot of times we have students that don't get to travel here with their parents or their families. Specifically, now that this pandemic has affected a lot of people, some students aren't able to have that type of support.
Students like John, who came to the U all the way from Alaska.
They helped me get stuff for my dorm too, like foods and stuff like that. And they helped me find my classes.
Adopt a Grizz, with the help of Essential Eats distributors, even helped set him up with a bike to help explore Missoula.
My second day here, I got the bike right, and then I already went to the Walmart. I bike around, and then that's it. It's so far.
The program has been extremely helpful, and participants couldn't be more thankful.
I was like, I'm so lucky because I have them, you know. Yeah, I guess if I don't have them, I don't know what's gonna happen to me, you know. Yeah, because I don't know anyone here, and at least I do now, you know.
Officials hope to continue developing the program to help even more students in the future. In Missoula, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
And Heenan told MTN that donations from the program came from multiple entities like the university and members of Hui Malama. We'll be right back.
Temperatures tonight falling down to the 40s for many of us. 45 in Great Falls, 46 in Helena, as well as Havre, 43 in Hayes, and 52 in Glasgow. Tomorrow, temperatures going to be well below the average. I am grateful for this, especially since we've been seeing 90-degree temperatures today. 70 degrees in Havre, 68 in Great Falls, and 63 in Lewistown. Overall, over the next 3 days, we are going to be looking at temperatures, at least for the first half, staying well below average before warming back up above that. And we are going to be looking at the same situation for our friends in Helena, where we're going to be looking at below average temperatures for the next 2 days.
All right, that's all the time we have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.